All right. Next question comes to us from Becky Atwater, and she says, what do you imagine Disney Cruise Line will be like once it reopens? Would you go on a Disney cruise this year? Getting a lot of questions from our audience about, because you can tell what's in their minds, right? Should we plan? Should we go? Should we try this? Should we do it? And so people are looking for that reassurance of, is there comfort there? Do you think it's the right thing to do? You know, they're looking for that validation. They're looking for some sort of guidance on this. And we'll jump to you first, Tyler. Disney Cruise Line obviously is one of the biggest, most award-winning family cruise lines in the world, known for its cleanliness, known for keeping things spick and span and beautiful and state-of-the-art. You and I had a unique opportunity not too long ago, while all of this was sort of unfolding, this pandemic was unfolding, to interview somebody that had coronavirus. It was one of the first cases in the United States, Carl Goldman, who caught it on a cruise ship, not a Disney cruise ship, but caught it on a cruise ship. And we spoke to him in quarantine while he had been sort of in lockdown for 30 days at a state facility. They took him from that ship because he was one of the first cases, and they kept him under lockdown to test him and to evaluate his symptoms. And you and I had the opportunity to interview him. And during that interview, you know, we had asked him, would you go on another cruise? And he said he would do it this year even. Does that sway your opinion or your thoughts on Disney Cruise Line at all?
Well, so I feel like, I don't know where to even start. I feel like things have changed.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm not going to speak for you, but my opinion of what was happening with coronavirus in the beginning was I was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I was straight up wrong. And I think I, have changed my opinions drastically on this whole entire matter. And I wonder if his opinions have changed as well, to be honest with you. It'd be interesting to ask him, but I would not go on a cruise this year. I think it's one thing to go stay at a resort, go to one of the theme parks. I think that's one thing. It's another thing to be in these confined, these are like mini hotels, Mm-hmm. Every single thing there is just a little bit smaller than your regular hotel. The hallways, you have to kind of barely pass by each other. You're stuck out at sea. So if they find out that somebody has coronavirus, then there's not really much they can do to get those people away from you. Besides just put them in a different room. But then we all know that the air circulates throughout the whole ship. So even if you did stay in your room, does that sound safe to you? It doesn't really sound safe to me. So, and then on top of that, you're going to be traveling, and maybe they'll change their itinerary or whatever, but you're going to be traveling to a number of different places in the Bahamas and the Bahamas or Alaska or wherever you're going to go. And it's a really scary thought. So at this point, no, I would not go on a cruise this year. And, earlier in the year, we were planning to go on a cruise sometime. So it's really kind of sad, but that's one thing that, again, it's just so much different than going to any other hotel. It's you're locked in with a group of people and there's nowhere to go. So that's very scary to me.
For sure. And Katrina, say that a cruise line, Disney Cruise Line to be specific, ends up cutting capacity to half of what they usually book on their cruise ships. Would that give you any sort of comfort in the idea of jumping back on a cruise this year?
A little bit, because sometimes, again, I worked for Royal Caribbean for numerous years, and Disney, I feel like, is a little bit more cleanlier than they are. But I will say that if they did it to half capacity, I think it would be able to work, especially for Disney Cruise Lines, just because when Tyler and I went, a lot of the adult areas were like empty at night. And so if they did half capacity, I think it would be like empty in the places that we would be. So I would be like, okay with it. But to kind of like talk what Tyler was saying, Disney cruise, or cruise ships in general, have a lot of risks when you go on. They have GI, gastrointestinal illness possibilities. So, and if anybody has ever had gastrointestinal illness, it's like the worst thing you could possibly get. I don't know about coronavirus. I haven't had it, so I can't compare it. But that catches like wildfire. It's highly contagious. Even if I just like passed by you, you could get it. And so cruise lines in general do a really good job trying to get those people away from everybody, so no one knows and can't catch it. And they confine you to your room and bring you everything that you need and do what they can to get you away from everybody else. And I feel like Disney Cruise Line would do that as well and like up their game. And I feel like a lot of people on cruises they're more respectful to others than going to like theme parks as well. And so I feel like Disney would probably do periodic temperature checks throughout like the whole day, which would be a little like annoying, but I think then they would be able to like take people away and like confine them to their room and
Take them away.
Take them away.
Into the dungeon.
I know. Walk the plank.
That's right.
But anyway, go ahead.
Well, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but like another thing for me too is like for Disney Cruise Lines, like one of the main selling points is all the different live shows that they put on. And I'm not going to feel comfortable standing in a giant group of people, you know, watching Mickey dance to his little pirate song, you know.
What if they filled it to half capacity and
made everybody like stand far apart? I mean, I just don't see how the logistics could work out. There's so many things on a Disney Cruise Line where you just need to be in close proximity to everybody else that it just sounds like a dangerous proposition.
I'll just stay at Palo all day and just eat
your way through
really
it.
good.
Leave a table to the side for me, have my name on it, and I'll just be there all day.
Smart girl. Absolutely.
Souffle all day.
Oh, souffle like cray, as they say. Garrett, you being Mr. Florida, Mr. Walt Disney World, the majority of Disney Cruise Line travel goes out of that state, especially over to the Bahamas and Western Caribbean or Eastern Caribbean, stuff like that. So knowing that Disney Cruise Line is so easily accessible to you, is that something that if you were given the opportunity, say they gave you a credit and said, we'd love to have you join us, would you jump on a Disney cruise in 2020?
I'm setting sail for adventure on that one, Wade. A lot of these topics, they affect me differently than they affect a lot of our viewers, because me having Walt Disney World in my backyard and me being so close to everything, it gives me a lot quicker access where I'm not as, I guess, high risk because I'm not staying at a resort and all that. But the Disney Cruise Line, I've been able to go on one, and they are beyond clean, where they are wiping something down 10 minutes after it's been touched. There's cleanliness going all day long. At night, they're swabbing the deck and all that. I would wholeheartedly go on one of them because Disney Cruise Lines are the top of the line. I've gone on other ones, and there's nothing quite like a Disney cruise. And the way Disney Cruise Line schedules everything, it definitely makes things a lot more possible, because there's typically 2 dinner shifts where you're either dinner A or you're dinner B. If they had the ship go at 50% capacity and they had 4 dinners, I think that's more doable. And they would have to change up the shows and everything. Rather than the theater being packed, they would have maybe staggered seats and staggered rows. I would feel comfortable just because on a cruise ship, everything's just so much more close, like Tyler said. But I'd be willing to go on a cruise just because I know that Disney Cruise Line is so pristine and so particular with the cleanliness on there. Like the sheets are changed daily, or at least washed as soon as they can. And I don't think there would be the 7-day long cruises. I think there would be like 3 or 4 day cruises where you're just stopping in Castaway Cay, which is Disney's private island, and that would be it. Like you'd have a day at sea, Castaway, and then day at sea, or maybe 2 days of Castaway. That would work, because then you're not going to, say, the Bahamas or Jamaica and potentially exposing them, because, you know, island nations can just be affected so quickly. But I'd feel good on Disney Cruise just because, I don't know, it's just a feeling I have. I'm really big on gut feelings, and Disney Cruise Line is a brand that I wholeheartedly trust, and I could see making it work. Like it could not run at full 100%, but I think at 50%, 45, I think that could work.
And swabbing the and feeling it in your
I would help with that. I would help out with that too. Just give me
You'd be there.
food front. Yeah, give me good food, and I'll sweep, and I'll I'll scrub up barnacles, and I'll shine shoes, and just give me a cool shirt and a hat, and I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
All
Yeah, all
right.
those things keep the coronavirus away.
Whatever it
Hey,
takes.
that I'm ready to go.
He is.
You're already there, it seems like.
Yeah, actually, I am.
Looking very tropical. Oh,
Oh, there's a clock.
Oh.
oh.
Yeah, I'm at Castaway Key.
See, it's time to sail. That's what that
Yeah.
shot just showed.
I'm ready. I'm ready to go. I got sand on the floor here too, just to make it more authentic.
Perfect.
The illusion's
Wow,
gone.
I'm sure
for me.
Ariel's gonna
It's
love
just
that.
completely gone.
Is she off drinking a Mai Tai? That beautiful girlfriend of yours?
Actually, it's a rum and coke.
Oh, I see. Got it. Completely understand. Well, it is interesting that this question gets brought up as Disney Cruise Line has recently announced that they will not be sailing until at least the end of July, having canceled all reservations up until that point. So another thing to consider there is Disney Cruise Line continues to push out its reservation window now as well. We will see what happens when it comes to Disney Cruise Line's future. I know that there are a lot of cruise lines that are very concerned at this point as to the future of cruising and what that will look like. Certainly Disney Cruise, I think Disney Cruise Line has a lot more trust in it than most cruise lines do. But still, to a certain degree, there is that public hysteria, the public paranoia that I don't think is going away anytime soon. And our new attention to all things cleanly are not in the favor of any cruise ship anywhere. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with Disney Cruise Line.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.